I'm just going to do a quick video about how to set up a leopard gecko tank. So I actually have this container here. It's just a normal little Rubbermaid container. It's not very big, but I only put it in them in there when I'm cleaning the tank out. As you can see, I cut holes in the top so they can breathe. So I just open it up, and inside I just have these little wood chips, and I put a hide in there while I'm cleaning their tank. Okay, so I've just put my leopard geckos inside the little container. I'm going to put a hide in there and something for them to climb on, and then I'll continue the video on how to set up a tank. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you're cleaning out your gecko tank is you're going to want to wash their water bowl and their calcium and food dish. You don't want to use a detergent or bleach or anything like that. It's bad for your leopard geckos. If you don't have a gecko or like a reptile detergent, then just use normal warm tap water to rinse everything, and then make sure it's fully dry before you put it back in your tank, as water can harbor bacteria, so it's best to have this stuff dried. So as you can see in my aquarium, I actually use AstroTurf, or you can purchase something like Repti Carpet, but I find AstroTurf is just as good, and it's actually easier to clean. Okay, so what I've done now is I've washed my AstroTurf, and I'm just going to hang it to dry. Depending on the temperature in your house, it can take a while to dry, but usually mine dries pretty quick. So I'm just going to leave it to dry, and then I'm going to put it back in the tank. Okay, so now I've taken the AstroTurf out, and I've actually washed it in the bathtub under warm water. Again, don't use any detergent unless you have reptile detergent. If you don't have detergent, then just rinse it out, and then you need to hang it and let it completely dry. Okay, so now that my AstroTurf has been washed and it's dry, I'm going to place it back inside my tank. So now my AstroTurf has been placed back down inside my tank. I'm going to place this wooden log inside. So now I've put the wooden log inside my tank, and now I'm going to put this little hut inside. It's one of these, it's got magnets, and it's like a Houdini hide. So I'm just going to put that in the tank as well. And I'm going to put it in this far corner. That's where the cool side of my tank is. So now I have that set up as well. So I just placed up another one of my plants. It had fallen down, so I just placed it back up. But I do have 3 plants in here. I have one really long one, and then just these 2 littler ones. I just find it makes the tank look a little more realistic to my leopard geckos. So I also have these 2 dishes. They're by Exoterra. I use one of them as the food dish and one of them as the water dish, and I put calcium in the bottom of the food dish. You can see that in one of my other videos, so I don't actually have a specific separate calcium dish. So now I put my dishes in there. I filled one up with calcium dust. I'm going to add some mealworms, and the other one I filled with water. So now I'm just going to add the humid hide that I made out of just a plain margarine container. I have a piece of paper towel on the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit of water to that to keep it humid. And I'm just going to place it over top of my heating mat. So now I've added this piece of driftwood. It just makes them a bit easier to get in the humid hide for my leopard geckos. They can get in without the driftwood there. But I just find it gives it a little better look, and it completes the tank a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to add my leopard geckos to their tank. So here's my 2 leopard geckos, Bella and Gadzooks. Gadzooks doesn't really like to be held, but he's my high yellow leopard gecko. And this is Bella. She's my lavender leopard gecko. She usually doesn't mind being picked up, but she's been in that box for a little while. So this is what my tank looks like when it's completed, and I hope that helps you set up your tanks. for your leopard geckos.